Welcome to Prenatal Yoga with myself, Usha Rose. Today we'll be doing a practice that's appropriate for any woman who might be experiencing pain in the front of the pelvis. So if you've been diagnosed with symphysis pubis dysfunction, this will be a safe practice for you to get moving, get on your mat, do some yoga, and know that not only is everything that we're going to be doing comfortable, but it also will help to strengthen your body. So we'll start in a kneeling position. I like to kneel on a block. You can place it between your heels and underneath your sit bones. If you don't have a block, you can use a blanket or a pillow. Okay, rest your hands comfortably anywhere in your lap. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. And we'll just start by taking a few deep breaths to arrive on the mat and prepare for our yoga practice. As you inhale, feel your body expand and fill up with breath. And as you exhale, feel your body relax, soften the shoulders, soften the face. Let's take the fingertips to the floor alongside the body. Inhale, stretch the arms up and overhead. Reach for the fingertips and ground down through the tailbone. Exhale, turn the palms out and pressing down. 2 more times, integrate the movement with the breath. Inhale, the arms out and up. And exhale, relaxing back down. 1 more time. This time we'll keep the arms extended overhead, interlace the fingers, and spin the palms up. We're going to press through the palms and straighten the elbows without locking them. Reach the arm bones back behind you. Soften your lower rib cage down, lengthen the tailbone, and bring your awareness into the sides of the body so that you're breathing laterally. And take 2 more breaths here, stretching the arm bones back behind you without flaring your rib cage open. So these bottom parts of your ribs are staying down and knitted together. Good, and then we'll relax the arms down and come to a kneeling position. So at this point, you can take your block. If you don't have a block, a stack of books or a mason jar works really well. The knees should be inner hip distance apart. We're going to inhale and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, relax the shoulders, soften the face. Take another deep breath in. And then side bend to your right, letting your right hand rest on the block. Reach out through the left fingertips. Continue to lengthen down through the tailbone so we're not twisting at all. This is a side body stretch, so moving in the lateral plane. 2 more deep breaths, filling up through the left side of the body, opening up through the left rib cage. And on your next inhale, we'll pick up the block, stretch the arms up. Stay here for your exhale, bring the block into your left hand. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, lower the block and side bend over to your left. You might be on the fingertips, you might be on the palm. Lengthen down through that right thigh bone and up through the right arm, creating a long line through the right side of the body. 2 more breaths here. And inhale, rise up with both arms, bring the palms together and down into the heart. Take your block now between your thighs and squeeze the block gently. Take the hands into the low back. You can have the thumbs at the sacrum, or if it's comfortable for you, spin your palms so the fingertips are pointing up and you'll get a little stretch in the wrists. Once here, lengthen both the pubic bone and the tailbone down as you gently squeeze the block. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, the elbows towards each other, and lift your ribcage and sternum up. Like a telescope, you're lifting up and creating length through the belly. All of these exercises are creating length through the abdomen to create room for your baby to grow. Also creating lots of space for your organs to function properly. One more breath here. And use your next inhale to rise back up to the top. We'll take the hands down to the floor in front of you, coming into all fours. Keep gently squeezing that block between your legs. We'll tuck the toes under, lift the knees off the floor, and press back into a downward facing dog, continuing to hold the block between the thighs. Relax the head and the neck. Press evenly into the hands. Reach down through the heels. Spin the inner thighs back. 2 more breaths here in downward facing dog. And from here, we'll move into a plank. So you'll slowly start to shift the shoulders forward and over the palms. You may need to slide the balls of your feet back to find a long line. If this is uncomfortable, you can take the knees to the floor. To modify the pose, we're holding for 3 more breaths. The belly is lifted towards the spine without rounding in the back. Create strength through the shoulders, length through the sides of the neck. And when you're ready, lower the knees, lift the hips. Take the block out from between your thighs. Separate your knees apart a comfortable distance, and we'll lower back into a child's pose. So the hips come to the heels. Keep your arms extended out in front. Relax the forehead onto the floor. And take a few deep breaths here. Slowly rise up back into a tabletop position. And we're just going to spend a moment cultivating core awareness in this tabletop position. So you'll notice in my tabletop position there is a natural curve in the lumbar spine. And we want to work on strengthening our transverse abdominal muscles. And to do that, we lift the belly towards the spine without tucking the tailbone or rounding the back. So you should be able to see a little bit my belly pulling in. What I'm not doing is tucking the tailbone and rounding the low back in order to pull the belly in. So we keep this, the spine, the back is not moving, and I'm just going to pull the belly in towards the spine and hold, and then relax. Let the belly expand, take a deep breath in, and then once again, pull the belly towards the spine. And then relax. And one more time, pull the belly towards the spine. So this is the same muscles we're using when we're doing a plank pose. And release. From here, we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow to stretch out the belly and open up the spine. Inhale to cow, lift the tailbone, lift the sit bones, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, round the back, press the floor away and spread the shoulder blades. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lengthen the front of the body, and then exhale, opening up the back body. Press evenly through the palms, the knuckles, and the fingertips. Last round, deep breath in, open the chest, arm bones back, spread the collarbones, and exhale, 2 rounds. Good. Come to a flat back. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and send the hips up and back. This time we'll walk the hands back to the feet for a forward fold. If your hands don't touch the floor, you might grab your block and put it underneath your hands. If you're in your 3rd trimester, your belly is growing, you might want to take your feet a bit wider apart than hip distance, creating space for your belly between your thighs. Lengthen through the spine, relax the head, and if it feels comfortable in your hips and your pelvis, you might try rocking a little bit side to side, bending one knee and then the other, moving slowly, just transitioning the weight gently from side to side, as well as a little bit of forward and back movement. from here, we'll start to walk forward, back, into a plank pose. Again, you can take the knees to the floor, bring your feet back into hip distance apart. Find that natural curve in the spine, lift the belly towards the spine, and we'll hold for 3 more breaths. You can make this a little more challenging for yourself by lifting the knees off the floor. Lengthen through the sides of the neck. Good. And when you feel complete, you can bend the knees back onto the floor, walk them in a little bit, moving into child's pose. Arms extended. This time we'll bring the palms together, arms in as close to the ears as possible, and bend the elbows to bring the thumbs to the back of the head. Take one more breath there. And then slowly walk your hands back and curl up the spine. From here, I'm just going to turn to face you. You'll lower your left hip to the floor and bring your feet out to the side, keeping your knees together. You can sit up on a pillow or a blanket. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up. And on your exhale, turn to your left. So we're turning away from the feet, sitting tall, look over your left shoulder, soften the shoulders and the face. Keep the twist in the spine, but turn your head to the right. See if you can catch sight of your toes. This should create a stretch for you through the left side of the neck. So we're lengthening the left shoulder away from the left ear. Good. And then return to center. We'll just switch over to the other side. If you're using a blanket underneath your hips, you can slide it underneath your right hip. Knees over to the left. Feet over to the left. Inhale, both arms reach up. Take a deep breath in to lengthen through the sides of the body. And then turn to the right, letting the arms come down. Sitting tall, look over the right shoulder to start for the first 3 breaths. And then simply turn your head to the left. Creating a stretch along this right side of the neck and chest, upper shoulder. Good. Release to the center. From here, we'll extend our legs out. You might want to stay seated up on that blanket or pillow. If you have a strap, a scarf, or even just some piece of clothing, we're going to have our legs extended out in front of us. Take the strap to the bottoms of the feet. Sit up nice and tall and lean forward. Your feet can be separated a little bit. Work on straightening the legs and walking the hands down the strap. Create length through the low back, so we're sitting up on the sit bones. Can sometimes be helpful to physically move the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. Lengthen through the spine as you inhale, leaning forward as you exhale. With your arms extended and holding onto the strap, we want to create ease through the hands, ease through the shoulders, so we're not pulling or hunching our upper back, staying nice and open, even if it means you aren't coming very far forward. Of course, if you are flexible in the hamstrings and you've got a big belly, it might be a little more challenging to find a stretch here. So that's why we're going to straighten the legs, extend through the bottom of the feet as if you're standing on a wall. Keep the low back nice and long as you lean forward. Good, and then you can go ahead and release. Shake out the legs. And from here, you can come into a side lying shavasana if you'd like, or come back into a kneeling for a short meditation, which is what I'll do. So if you're feeling complete with your practice, now is the time to rest, or you can move on to another one of my yoga videos. So I hope that all felt really great. Let me know if you have any questions. My name is Usha Rose. Namaste.